Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you 4 of my best tips for tomorrow's racing. Now before we get stuck into those, I just quickly want to go through a few things with you. First of all, I want to apologise for not making a video on today's racing up here on my YouTube channel. I did make it clear on my video that I recorded on Friday that I was going to be away this weekend. That was uploaded a little bit earlier than usual because, like I said, I was going away on Friday evening for the weekend, so that's where I was. And to not miss out on any updates, if you never see these videos where I do give the updates, but I always try and be straight with you guys, make sure you follow me on Twitter, because I will always give an update on there as well, just to clarify why there is maybe a lack of activity on my channel. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, my handle is @LuckyLoader15, and there's a link to the handle in the description box below. So make sure you follow me on Twitter if you don't do so already, and make sure you give me a subscribe as well, because it means every time I upload a video you should receive a notification on your YouTube app or on your YouTube account if you use the desktop. So yeah, make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already. But away from that, I just quickly as well wanted to recap on how our selections performed on Saturday. In the end, we did come out with a bit of loss, but the good news from Saturday was that we continued our nap streak, as we put up Ocean Wind to win the Cesarovich trial handicap. We actually advertised him at 7-4. That was one of the early prices being quoted by William Hill, and he was pretty much that price for a long time. And then I did see on Saturday at one point he did drift out to 2-1, so if you're able to get on the 2-1, fair play to you there. But he was well gambled on in the end, and I think he went off 5-4 favourite, and he really did show that he is definitely going to be a class act on the flat, in my opinion. Anyway, I said that he had some really good bumper form, and he's a horse that I've been following actually ever since his bumper days. I put him up to win the champion bumper, where he probably could have run an even better race if the ground had been on the good side. And also as well, I remember backing him in Newbury actually when he won that listed bumper. So he's a horse that I've always held really in high esteem, and it's really good now that he's transferring that ability onto the flat, and I think he's definitely a great bet still for the Cesarovich. You can still back him anti-post, I think 7-1. We did say if you wanted to back him, however, for the Cesarovich on Friday, that you wanted to back him before that trial race, because he was still available at 12 or 14-1, and I said the bookies would definitely cut him if he won that race. And because obviously he did it very impressively, he's been made anti-post favourite, and it'd be interesting to see what the handicapper does. Wonder if he might raise him maybe £10 or so. He might be in the high 90s, maybe could even be 100. So we'll have to see what the handicapper does there. Away from that, yeah, it wasn't our finest hour. 5,000-1, no complaints. Finished in second place, but just bumped into a more progressive type from Marcus Dragon in stable in the Mill Reef. Wise Cancel, I thought, was a little bit unlucky. He didn't get the best passage in running, and like good all each way bets, he finished one place outside of the places he would have needed to run into to give us some profit. We put him up with Sky Bet at 12-1 with the 7 places they were offering, and of course, typical, he finished in 8th place. And then away from that, we put up Kings Lynn in the Silver Cup. Didn't quite live up to expectations, and in the end maybe the race just came a little bit too quickly for him in his career. But I have no doubt that he still is a fairly talented horse, but he might just take a little bit more time to come to fruition. And then also as well, Satansi Girl, she definitely got outclassed in that race at but maybe she still could be one to side with in nurseries moving forward. So yeah, it wasn't a great day on Saturday as such, but however, like I said, we did continue our great streak on the naps. That's 11 winning naps now in September, and fingers crossed we can have a few more before the month is out. So let's get into the tips for tomorrow. That's what you all want to hear, and we're actually going to be starting with my nap tomorrow, which runs in the 2:45 at Warwick with a horse called the Bay Birch for Stan Shepherd. And he's going to be riding for, I think it's his brother Matt Shepherd, where you can currently get this horse at 11-2 with bookmakers at the moment. Now, I thought this horse had a really good chance tomorrow and is very well handicapped. Now, if you look back through the form, this mare, she's been an admirable mare in her career. She's competed in some really good races and definitely done her connections proud. She's won 7 times over fences, and last season saw her in a good light, especially as well on her seasonal return when she won a really competitive Class 2 handicap at Chepstow when it was the Persian War meeting and she did the job really well that day. And she was running off a mark that day off a rating of 145, and tomorrow she's going to be making her seasonal appearance off a £7 lower mark. She's going to be running off a mark of 138, and if she runs anywhere near that ability, I think she's a good thing in this handicap. You know, now some of you might have question marks like, could she need to run? However, if you look back at her career, she's got a pretty good record fresh, and like I said, she won on her seasonal reappearance last year in a better race than she's running out at Warwick tomorrow. Furthermore, I think the trip of 2.5 miles is ideal for her. She can do it over 3 miles, but I think she's more effective, and her optimum trip is 2.5 miles. And also as well, I think the good ground will be key tomorrow. Again, she is a little bit versatile if you look back at her career, but I think her better performances have come when it's been on a decent surface. Now, if we look at the race as a whole tomorrow, there's a few obviously nice contenders from some fair yards, but I just think that this is the classy horse in the race, and if she just turns up anywhere near her A game, she should be too good for the majority of these. Now, she is going to be the second highest rated horse in the race, I should say, so she is going to have to carry quite a bit of weight. However, like I said, I think there's a lot of things in her favour tomorrow, and also as well, she's got a good record at Warwick. She's a course winner there. On her last start, she finished second. Okay, she was well beaten, but the ground was probably a little bit against her that day. But all in all, she's performed fairly solidly when going to Warwick. I think she had 3 starts there and produced a win and 2 second places. So that's not a bad record at all at Warwick, which can be quite a tricky track for some horses, as especially I think it's down the back straight. Before they turn in, at least anyway, they go down a line. I think it's off about 4 or 5 fences, so you need to jump well, and she seems to jump well. She's not got the best hurdle record. It's not amazing, but it's a bit modest, but her best performances have definitely come over fences. Like I said, she's won 7 times over the fence obstacles during her career, and I think she's got a really good chance of going close tomorrow. And Stan Shepherd as well has been riding fairly well. He's had 3 rides in the last fortnight, and he's had 2 winners from them, so he rides there in good form. And I just thought 11-2 was a bit of a big price for this horse, and I wouldn't be at all surprised actually come post time tomorrow if this horse was a lot shorter. I could definitely see this horse potentially going for short as maybe 5-2, maybe 9-4 even. I could see there continuing continued support for her. Like I said, I'm sweet on her chances, and that's why she is going to be my nap. We then go to Listowel over the RSC for my long shot tomorrow. My only tip on the card at Listowel is part of their, I think it's called the Harvest Festival. Their few meetings they've got going on over there at the moment, and I'm going to be going in the 310, the feature race of the day, grade B handicap, and I thought Isotope was a fairly backable price here at 15-2 each way. Now you can currently get that price with Paddy and Betfair, who are offering 5 places. So that's where I would recommend you go if you want those extra places. And it's Oakley Brown tomorrow, claiming a handy £7, riding for Joseph O'Brien. Now, this horse, despite winning at Wexford last time out in a pretty impressive manner, was actually lame. However, that doesn't put me off too much, because Joseph, he's a mastermind, and he's doing really well as well with his string over the jumps, and he wouldn't be running this horse if he didn't think they were fit enough, so that shouldn't be an issue there at all. But like I said, I was really impressed actually by the way this horse won at Wexford, and he's going to be running off a mark tomorrow in this race off a rating of 123. And with Oakley Brown, who's a very capable conditional, has ridden a few winners for Joseph, part of his conditional team there, with the £7, in essence this horse is going to be running off a mark of 116. He's only had a few starts over the hurdles, you know, and I just think he's got a lot more to offer. He's been running okay as well on the flat. He's had a win, I think it was on Roscommon on heavy ground, and his mark is 84 on the flat. So if you take everything into the balance, I think he does look potentially well handicapped off his mark, and I would expect a lot more to come from him. So at 15-2 with a nice run last time, a nice low racing weight, good connections, I think we haven't got to the bottom of this horse over hurdles. And like I said, I'm going to take a chance tomorrow. It's going to be my long shot, not the biggest price long shot I've ever put up, but still, I think this horse is going to be there or thereabouts, and I would be disappointed actually if he couldn't finish in the first 5. We then go with my extra tip tomorrow, which runs in the 3:15 at Warwick with a horse called France de Reve for Nico de Boinville and Nicky Henderson in the colours of JP McManus. Now, this horse was a very good winner last time out on handicap debut at Newton Abbot when winning off a mark of 111. Now, that was a fair race actually. There was some likeable mares in there that have done some good things during their careers, so to beat them quite convincingly I thought was quite impressive. And I think this horse, again, like I said with Isotope, I don't think we've got to the bottom of this horse at all, and it's going to be a second start this season. And like I said, I think she's got a good chance in this race. Now, she's going to be running off a mark of 118, and I think she's got a little bit more scope to come off that mark. She will have to carry top weight, however, and give a bit of weight away to some of her rivals. And there are maybe 1 or 2 horses that maybe could throw a spanner in the works, that could have a bit more improvement. But I think this horse is definitely got a few more pounds up her sleeve, you know, and I thought that the attitude that she showed at Newton Abbot was very likeable. And I think, like I said, we definitely haven't got to the bottom of her, and I expect a lot more to come. Nicky Henderson's team always do pretty well at Warwick as well. They've got a good record there, and their team have been going under the radar with their summer jumps. He's been ticking along, having a few winners here and there. And for me, I just think France de Reve tomorrow, 9-4, you can back this horse as my extra tip tomorrow. Is a good thing in that handicap. So for me, that is going to be my extra tip. We then go to the weather card at Wolverhampton with the next best, which runs in the 7:30 with a horse called Glowing for Gold. I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, it'll be written in the graphic for Ray Dawson and Ismail Mohammed. Currently back this horse at 9-4 at the moment. Now, last time we saw this horse was actually last week when finishing second to my nap on that occasion. That was Final Thoughts for Saeed bin Sarur. Now, that filly had some good form, closely matched with Group 2 winner Indigo Girl, and that form at Yarmouth was pretty good because the 3rd place horse of Archie Watson's actually won on the same card last week at Wolverhampton, so that looked like a little bit of good form there. And this horse, Going for Gold, was running on really strongly in the closing stages. Final Thoughts, I wouldn't say was a lucky winner, but it was just a good ride by Callum Shepherd, who was aboard that day. However, this horse was definitely the one to take out of the race, and even though he has won and does have to carry a penalty, Ray Dawson's able to pretty much cancel out that penalty by taking off £5, and he's been a revelation over the last couple of months. He's definitely been an apprentice to keep on side. He's been getting some good rides. I know his agent fairly well, Adam Brooke. We've had him on the In the Saddle podcast before, Adam, and spoken to a few of his jockeys, so he definitely is getting the best out of him. And Ray Dawson, like I said, he won on this horse at Chelmsford, put in a good performance last time, and was, like I said, definitely the one to take out of the race moving forward. And even though there are maybe 1 or 2 nice types from Bolden's Yard, also as well, John Gosden's got a runner in here, I think the race might set up quite nicely for him. He's a horse that we know is probably most likely going to come with a turn of foot, and I think the Andrew Bolden horse, from the way it ran last time at Goodwood, will probably be up there, the pace, you know, setting it, and I think it could just set it up for a closer, and I think it can be our selection. And he's by Golden Horn as well, who I think is starting to come into his own as a sire. I think maybe his horses do better at 3. However, I still think their horses are always going to keep improving and keep finding more in his progeny, and I think this horse is a very likely winner of the race in the 7:30 at Wolves tomorrow, so that's why he is going to be my next pair. So I'll quickly just recap on the tips there. In the 2:45 at Warwick, we go the Bay Birch, 11-2, win only is my nap. In the 3:10 at Listowel, we go with Isotope, 15-2 each way with the 5 places. And then in 3:15 at Warwick, we go with France de Reve as the extra tip, 9-4, win only bet. And then the final tip runs in the 7:30 at Wolves, my next best, Glowing for Gold, 9-4, and that's a win only bet as well. So they're the 4 tips for tomorrow's racing. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button for more videos on my YouTube channel. Also as well, if you want to follow me on Twitter, make sure you do so, where my handle is at LuckyLoader15. And if you want to check out my website for a full portfolio of my work, make sure you go to www.chrisloaderracing.co.uk. So please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have some winners tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you soon.